I'm Rob.
I'm Ellie.
And this is Camp.
H54.
Oh, wow. She remembered. That's cool. We're learning.
I'm the Flare, if you haven't figured that out.
It's color and commentary. So I'd be commentary, you'd be color.
Well, and yeah, Rob gets mad because the first thing I do is I get in because I want to be next to him.
And moves the table.
I move the table.
I set the whole stage and then she moves it around. So
it's fun. It's fun.
Is it fun?
Yeah.
Fun. I like having fun.
Yeah.
So today, the title, The Door's Standing Wide Open. Oh, okay.
Alex is doing something.
That freaked me out a little bit. Cat goes running. Is defining our mission. Yeah. So what is our mission? She goes, you have the lead because I don't know.
So what is the purpose of the mission? Like, why are we defining a mission?
It's define a home space, define a place to come home to, define what a common ground is for everybody at any moment. So whether we're on the road or whether we're actually at home or whether your home catches on fire and you need to go outside, you called that Edith.
Exit drills in the home.
Yeah.
Boom. but no, like seriously, if we're going to define a mission, like is that our American dream? Is that our purpose? I mean,
I would say our American dream is part of it because we each individually have our own little American dream. That's the thing we learned.
Yeah, I want him to make mill. I want to be at home all the time. I'll go work out. I want to be.
So please like and subscribe, and if you want to throw some donations down there, that will really help.
Yeah, no
absurdness.
Let's go do realistic dreaming, right?
Yeah, right. Okay. So we're sharing this journey with you, and that's the point. So everybody can rally around that. It's we'll show some reviews from time to time. We're going to be doing some things from time to time, but really, let's talk about that mission, which is, and you'll see when the logo gets shown out. We're all familiar with that little pin.
Yeah.
We've got a heart in ours, and that basically says that's where we're going to. And whether that point is like when we're on the road, we come back at camp, which is Camp H54, or we're here at home, which is where Camp H54 is, or whether we're out, like let's say watching movies and or at a mall and kids scatter around and we say, okay, we're going to meet back here.
Okay, so is that the back to
it's
the
that
point
anchor
where you
point?
Yeah.
It's that anchor point. That anchor point isn't so constrictive that that's where everybody has to be. That's everybody where everybody needs to go to meet back up. And I had that growing up as a kid because I didn't have cell phone. I didn't have an electronic calendar. I didn't have pager. I mean, we didn't have anything when we grew up. We had a watch and clocks around
like
town.
Like a real watch, not an electric, like what they have, like not an Apple Watch.
And clocks around town. So, or things that happened around town at certain times. Like at noon, they tested the fire siren. So I knew when the fire siren went off, as long as I didn't hear other emergency vehicles going and people screaming around, that it was noon. And it was a long run. It was a certain type of wail that you knew was the test of the siren, but that meant it's noon. And you probably have no concept of that, of anchoring yourself time-wise around a sound.
No, and it's so funny that you bring that up because I've traveled a little bit, and like I've seen Big Ben. We saw that big clock in Chicago. I mean, I see all these big clocks, and I was just thinking like, oh, that's so cool. It's like their show off. They made this big clock, and it's really neat. And I just thought it was part of the town's like, like look at us, and actually had a point. Like the reason the clock
it was so funny to me during the tour when the girl goes, oh, and let me tell you why they used to have clocks. So everybody in town, nobody had watches. They knew what time it was. And I'm like, well, duh. And anyone that was like older than 55 was going, well, yeah. And everybody else was like, oh, that's really cool. And she like had this reaction to it that I was like, are you kidding me?
I mean, that makes sense. I was like, gosh, these towns spent a lot of money to put that up. And now I realize it was functional at a time. It was actually a working clock. That's not a blonde thing. That's just not.
No,
it's not normal.
And it's not an intelligence thing.
No, I just want to throw that out there.
It's literally just wasn't in her scope of being. But I remember it'd be like, okay, we're gonna meet at the county fair, by the grandstand at 1. Okay, we would set this up a week earlier, and everybody would be at the grandstand at the county fair at 1.
And if somebody didn't show, you'd probably find out when they.
And if somebody didn't show, we were actually worried about it because something happened, and we would actually sort out. And it wasn't like you could pick up a phone and call and say, "Oh, well, hey, do you know where Timmy is?" Or no, we would be like, "Oh crap, Timmy's not here. Timmy's always here. What's going on?"
Yeah, and then or they might have told somebody. Like
or Timmy's sister, Sandy, would show up and say, "Hey, Timmy's sick, so he's not going to make it." Somebody would actually come and fill in the information.
So we've become less social, you think?
We've become incredibly less social because it's all based upon this, which is artificial and fake, and you don't get a real representation of what's going on. She's not fake. We're not using filters. That's true.
I don't use filters. I
but
never use filters.
Yeah, no, it's about, that's what Camp H54 is about, getting, because when you go camping, you don't have all the makeup all the time. You don't get to take a shower every single day. You get muddy, you get dirty, you get smelly. It happens, and you deal with it because that's the atmosphere you're in. It's not about saying let's not take showers. It's not about it.
No,
but it's about
preparing.
Yeah.
Being adaptable. Is very important. You can prepare the best. You can, but you want to be adaptable for sure. So you can. I mean, the story we told a couple shows back with Henry, being car sick the whole time down the valley. He did so well until we got in the motorhome, and I'm like, I don't have water. I don't have, and so I had to figure out how to.
But she adapted and dealt with it.
I did, and we dealt with it. And it was just something that's over now, and I was so proud of him. He did so well. And you learn from that. You learn things like, so Rob, the thing, I didn't realize this, but when we got together, Rob is extremely, like, he's efficiently prepared. You have some people who like put everything in their car or put everything together, and it's just like, you'll never use this, you'll never do this. Rob, when he sees he'll prepare before we go somewhere, and he'll have something. And then when he finds out there's something that we need, he gets it and puts it in the bag. He knows that we're going to need this moving forward. He doesn't just buy everything in the kitchen sink and throws it in. So usually we're prepared. People think it's weird. Like, we'll be walking around and they're like, oh, I can't see. Boom. He whips out a flashlight. He always has a flashlight on him. He always has something to cut, or scissors, or even tweezers. And he just has found ways to make it really, compacted. And so Henry will get a splinter, and we're out in the middle of nowhere, and they're like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? And Rob's like, I got it. And so I really do appreciate that Boy Scout mentality a lot, because it makes me, so I don't have to do it. And then I don't have to adapt much. So it works for me.
I don't carry a lot when I go out. So, there's always this EDC, what they call EDC, which is everyday carry. Okay. And those are things that, now women have EDCs, they're in a purse.
And I'm not a person.
But they don't know where anything, they don't know where anything is in the purse, though. So you got to know where it is to be able to get to it, to have it to be effective. Thinking, oh, I might have, and then women will pull things out of purses, which is pretty awesome. So a guy can go, hey, do you have a pen, or do you have this, or whatever, and then we can MacGyver it. But there's two things that I have that I carry all the time that she just mentioned, and I'm gonna pull them out. So we'll do this. One is a Surefire Stealth. I think it's called the Stealth flashlight. Okay, this is, now flashlights, I've always wanted to carry a flashlight. You can get the little round ones that are little pins. People put them on keychains, or they get the bigger round ones that'll last longer, be brighter, but they're always awkward in your pocket. This thing's flat, so it looks like a knife, and it's so funny every time I go through some of the security things, I'll pull out and I'll be like, it's a flashlight. And they're like, wow, oh, that's cool. And sometimes a conversation ensues. But I'll put a link for this guy. It's rechargeable. So I recharge it
at night.
Okay. And it's got a front mounted turn on, you turn it on and off. And then it's got a back mounted deal as well. So you can press and hold. Then there is my Leatherman, and this is called a Free T4. So this guy's nice, small, and compact. I used to carry a regular Leatherman that was a bigger knife that had a screwdriver. So I always want a blade. I always want a screwdriver. You have a blade, of course. Okay. But I always want a screwdriver, something that's a flat blade that you can pry with. And then there's a little nail file with a smaller regular flat blade on it. Okay. It has a pair of tweezers that are in there. So you can use tweezers. It has, go over here, scissors. This is great for cutting straws for kids, because kids always get straws that are too big. So
especially when you got little.
That is a thing. So yeah, and it turns into scissors.
We've
and then
used it a lot.
Then it has, it's funny
everything
that it gets used more than you would ever believe, because it's just useful. So, and there's a little nail file with another blade then. And then this one has a Phillips type end. It's flat. But all this fits, these two things fit in my front pocket. I have them all the time. And this, you got to remember, because I'm usually running back. I'm the guy. Yeah, I do it. I go all the way in from the parking lot, get to the entrance to the theme park, and I'm like, crap.
It's happened all the time.
It's happened twice.
That's all the time.
So next time I'm remembering to leave this in there. But anyways, I left it at the Capitol. I left it in the car. I didn't go to the back of me.
That was smart.
So, but those two things, I'll put links to these. And find your own little thing. And I call it a kit. But I carry those two items with me always.
and we
Okay.
use them always, especially with kids, especially like out. Like I'm the kind of person like before Rob, there'd be a string, and I'd be like, ah, geez, and I'd pull it, and then there'd be a hole, and then I'd be like, okay, that shirt's done. I gotta figure it out when I get home and get a new shirt. He will be like, no, 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 just wait, just wait,
Just hang on a minute.
just hang on a minute,
Hang on a minute.
I got it.
We got you covered.
Yeah, so it makes things a little bit easier on me. That's why I like my man and all his tools. Because I don't like carrying a purse. I've never been a purse girl. I have to carry it because it's supposed to have my wallet. If I put things in my pocket, I lose them. So I have a purse where all my shit's in it, and I go get it. And I'm leaving town today, so we did an earlier show, and I made sure I had my purse because it has my ID in it, and I usually need my ID and my credit cards. And that's the only reason, and some lip gloss, I carry a purse. Other than that, I carry a Rob. And
Yeah, I carry a second ID for Allison.
is that bad? But you find your person, and then they figure out how to deal with you. and it works for me a lot.
I'm her Camp H-54. She just returns to home base and we're good
Yes,
to go.
really. It works phenomenal. I love it because I don't really have to think about things. And that's one of the things that happens when I'm with Rob and we're traveling. I love it because I don't have to do anything but follow him. Like legit, that's all I do. And then I'm like, and he makes sure that I have my coffee. He makes sure that if I want to drink on the plane, that it's happening. He's really good about like really making friends with people on the plane. It's just amazing. He has a little secret that he does. I don't know if he wants to share it.
Sure.
Maybe, yeah, you should share it because it'll help you out.
It's amazing. $5 or $10. So flight crews are usually $4 or $5. But you want to get the VIP treatment on an airplane. It's simple. And it's literally a $5 or a $10 gift card. I usually do $10 gift cards. So it's $7 or $50 a flight, but $10 gift card, you get 5 of them at Starbucks, and you get on the plane, you say, hey, the first flight the person you see there, and you go, hey, how many people, how many in your crew? And they'll say, 4 or 5. And I'll go, here. And I hand them that. And she's like, we're getting drinks. And she's like, what's going on? And even people next to me like going, who are you? Like,
well, they really truly appreciate it because we appreciate them.
It's just a flipping tip, folks. That's what it is. You don't have to tip. It's not expected. But nice boy, do they appreciate it.
Yeah, they work really hard, and they have to deal with some people that aren't fun to deal with. And then, they're busy the whole time.
You don't do this and then expect something.
No.
Okay. You don't expect to get an extra play. Like if they're out of storage space, they're out of storage space. If they're out, if they don't have alcohol or they can't, if the flight's too bumpy, you don't get alcohol, you don't get it. Okay. But yeah, it's a tip, and view it that way. Just say thanks to them. That's it.
Yeah, it's paying it forward, and it feels good to make people feel they really truly appreciate it. I don't think they get that a lot, and they don't have an easy job. I don't want to deal with people like that.
And they don't get paid until the door closes and they take off. But most people don't know that. Yeah, they're sitting there not getting paid until they take off.
That's ridiculous, but it is what it is.
Anyway,
but
and they might have negotiated a better deal with that. Somebody could tell me, but
yeah, it's a good little secret. But and that's the thing is we work really well together. We really try to we complement each other just by putting up with each other and adapting and realizing that what we're able to do, benefits us.
So yeah, our camp is H-54. What's your camp? We want to know. So go in the comments and let us know what your camp is, or if you have one, or if you're thinking about one, or if this makes you get in your mind of, does this click? Do you get the mentality we're talking about? And love to hear some examples from those that are out there listening.
Yeah. What is that our mission? Because you said you started this with.
Yeah, that's our mission, is to get everybody thinking about their camp, and whether it be home and how it moves around, and how they can come back to a common point to reset daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. It doesn't really matter. If it's a relationship, it's obviously daily. You come back to your camp, and you can have camp within camp, because our home is obviously camp for the family, but our bedroom is camp for us. So we're not doing those videos. Nope, not this channel. Go somewhere else, folks. Sorry, probably make more money.
I'm not setting you up for that anymore. Not enough. But yeah, no, and look at the tools and the resources around that you might use, and how you guys like help each other out and work together. It's been definitely. I feel like that like metal that you can shape, but you have to hit it really hard. I feel like through the years of our relationship, and we've really worked at making it nice and smooth.
Forming that metal.
Yes.
Bing, bing, bing,
Yeah, and sometimes I smack it, and sometimes he does. But
So we got to heat it up to 16,000 Kelvin,
yeah,
melt it down, and then form it into what you want. It's like the Mandalorian's outfit.
yeah, and we've done a pretty good job, and we're still, there's still stuff to do, but we feel pretty, at least I feel pretty blessed. I don't want to speak for you, but
Yeah.
we
Cool.
got our shit together.
So I'm going to send her off away from camp, and she'll be away from camp and have her a camp somewhere else for a few days, and then come back to home camp. So,
Yeah, and I'll text him and call him all the time, and when he's working and he can't talk.
absolutely. So hey, I'm Rob,
And I'm Allie.
and go out there and venture forward.